Hey everybody, how you doing? Tuesday Thoughts, week number 31. Wow, moving right along, aren't we? So, today's quote comes from John Quincy Adams. I think it's a great perspective on leadership. It says, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader." That's a pretty good way of doing that. I've had some discussions with people recently about what does it mean to be a leader, and what is a leader, and what is their leadership philosophy. And I've even been just reviewing my own philosophies as well, as I try and do every so often, just to make sure that I'm up to date with how I'm thinking and acting. And this one was one that really hit me, because we try so hard to define what a leader is and where we see a leader and what their role is. And the reality is, a good leader is someone who's not necessarily in the front. They're not necessarily right in the thick of things. They're not necessarily in the back bringing up the rear of things. They are where they need to be for the people that are around them. That can be in any location. But a true leader is inspiring others, as it says, to dream more, to learn more, to do more, to become more. If you're getting people to do those things, if you are getting people to change themselves for the better, if you're getting them to improve themselves, that is a leader. Now, how they do that, there's a lot of different ways, and the level of change is very, very different, but it's still being a leader. And our secondary thought for the day, be yourself without selling yourself out to be what others think you should be. Tying that back in of, what are you doing for others? How are you being a friend to others? How are you being a leader? How are you being a good follower, if that's what the necessary role is at the time for that? But you've got to understand who you are, what it is that you believe, what you're willing to stand for, what you're willing to fight for. If you can understand who you are, then it's important that you stay true to that and not try and become what somebody else wants you to be if that's not who you really are. So be true to yourself. If others are trying to get you to change and there's not a good reason for it, you got to question the motives of them. Now, here's a little known fact for you. There's a place called Sandy Island. It's a landmass about the size of Manhattan in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Australia. Rumor has it that explorer James Cook discovered it in 1774, and 1908 it starts showing up on nautical maps. Interesting thing was, it wasn't until 2012 that a group of Australian scientists decided they needed to survey the island. They wanted to add more details to this, and they couldn't find the island. It wasn't there. Scientists' best guess is that Cook may have in fact spotted what's called a pumice raft. It's a floating volcanic stone and gas, and that would have then disappeared. So interestingly enough, the Sydney Morning Herald even published an obituary for the island. I bet that would have been an interesting read and a shock to a lot of people. And our random word definition for the week, ERF, E-R-F. Simply, a plot of land. Now, hopefully it's an actual plot of land and not one that you think is there, that, maybe this pumice raft floating in the ocean, right? That it's more real. So that is the Tuesday Thoughts for this week, week number 30. Making sure that you are inspiring others to dream more, learn more, do more, and be more, because that's what defines a leader. Make sure you know who you are and what it is that you believe in. Have a great week. Talk to you next week.